Hi, I'm Greg from RV Haulers. I'm standing here with Henry, who is the inventor and engineer of not only the Jackalope, but the ET Senior hitch. This is the hitch that is used in the great majority of heavy-duty truck conversions that we see on the road today. Henry's going to give us a tour of this hitch and show us the superior components that he's implemented.
Alright, I think probably what we ought to start with is why do you need ET hitch or a similar hitch? It's particularly on these heavy trucks, whether it be a class 6, 7 or 8, they are rough on whatever you're pulling with, and your RV requires a little more care than the standard hitch that you see on a commercial vehicle. And the three aspects of that are very important if you look at the hitch itself. Is articulation in three directions. One obviously is up and down, and that is achieved by the virtue that there are 4 airbags in this particular hitch. Other hitches will have 2 or 3 or 1. There's also articulation from side to side and articulation from front to back, and that will isolate your rig from all the motion that this truck can introduce into your fifth and into the frame of your fifth. Important to remember that these trucks, particularly Class 8 trucks, they're designed for 32,000 pounds, and most, unfortunately, URVs are designed to be pulled with pickups, which are more in the range of 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. So this hitch serves the purpose of giving you that necessary isolation. The second point about this particular hitch is that it was designed from the beginning to fit into a semi-chassis. It is not designed to go in a pickup or smaller vehicles. It will go only in a semi, and because of its size and because of its performance. The third thing that this was designed for is for heavy trailers. So if you're planning to buy something that's 38 or longer and trailer heavier than 16, 17, 18,000 pounds, this is the hitch that you need. There are other hitches that claim they can do it, and they do, but we use special care to make sure that this performs well with the large rigs. Sometimes I have questions, can this be used on other smaller vehicles or with smaller rigs? It will not go in a pickup. This will go into semi only, and there's another version that will fit on MDT. But these hitches were designed for class 6, 7 or 8 trucks. The head that we have on this hitch is manufactured by Binkley, and this is a commercial head that's sold to many different companies that use many different hitches, and it is rated for 7,500 pounds this way and 32,000 pounds this way. The hitch is certainly capable of carrying more than that, but because this is the component that we purchase and put on it, and we say the rating for this hitch, which has to be this component, is 7,000 this way and 32,000 that way. There's not too many RVs out there that come close to that, or even approach that number. But in the future, I've heard some discussions about people purchasing even heavier trailers in different configurations. We are in process of thinking what else we can do. When I designed this particular hitch, it was for my fifth that I purchased at that time, which weighed 23,500 pounds. It was 40 feet long, and pin weight was 6,500 pounds. I felt that there was nothing commercially available that, number one, would do justice to that particular fifth, and number 3, at that time I purchased an HDT, and I needed something that would fit on the HDT, so that's how it became into its existence. I designed many different mechanical, electrical components, and when I started this project, I approached it with an idea that this got to be the best because it's for me. So we spent quite a bit of money, but we've incorporated lots of things in it that you don't see on other products. One of them, which is key, is that if you look in the back down there, there is a leveling valve this hitch will automatically level itself to whatever trailer weight you put on it. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether you have something that has 4,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds, or 7,000 pounds, the hitch will automatically level itself to that position and suspend it. The other thing that makes it different is there are 4 airbags in here, and the total capacity for these airbags is 10,000 pounds. That doesn't mean that I want to see 10,000 pounds on the pin weight, because the way Airspring's design works, it should be somewhere in the middle of a pressure point. So this hitch loves to be somewhere in the vicinity of anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. That doesn't mean that you can have a lighter trailer, and doesn't mean that you cannot have a trailer that's a little higher of it. It simply says that its maximum and best performance is in the range from 4,000 to 6,000 pounds pin weight. I've had trailers of heavier pin weight on it and they work fine. The very, very unique feature of it, if you look at forward here again, there are 2 sets of parallel dog bones on it that work in conjunction with each other. And this particular geometry allows to transition the forces that the hitch sees in the forward motion. For instance, if you're braking, there's a lot of discussions, a lot of complaints about chucking forces. What's happening is if you have force that goes forward in this particular hitch, because of this geometry, that force does not go forward, and you don't feel it in your neck, because that force is transitioned into a downward motion. So it's not only if you go over, let's say, a bump or something where you see this kind of motion up and down. The forward motion or chucking will also be transitioned into a downward motion, which makes it much easier on your neck while you're traveling. There are many high-quality items in it that you don't see in other hitches. There is a series of bearings throughout this. This hitch has composite bearings. It's a European product. They're quite expensive, but they are very, very remarkable in the sense that they don't require any greasing. They work dry, and they have incredible capacity for forces on them. The bearings are rated at 23,000 pounds per square inch, and in each round bearing there's approximately 3.5 square inches of surface, and there's 12 of them in this entire hitch. Also, it's suspended on springs, as you see, essentially to hold the head, you know, particularly when you're approaching your fifth with the hitch. It makes it easier to guide it into the pin. The pins in it, and there are 4 of them in this hitch, 1 through the head in here, and there are 4 more in the dog bones, are made of hardened and nitrided material. It's also quite unique. It's the same type of pins that you would see in high quality hydraulic pistons used by industry that has those exposed to nasty element. So this nitriding surface that you see over here, that surface is 50 times more resistant to rusting or losing its quality than chroming is. So that's why a lot of industry that uses exposed cylinders use nitrided cylinders rather than chrome cylinders. There are many other unique things in this hitch, but Greg tells me that he would like this initially to limit it to 2 minutes, and I'm sure we'll create another video that tells you more about it.
And of course, tell us about your website, where we can get this hitch, Henry.
Well, website is ethitch.com, and in Canada it would be Greg's website, rvhaulers.ca.
All right.